Hey guys, what's going on? This is Splurge, bringing you the power rankings for week 4. These come late again, you'll understand why heading into the video. Currently only on one monitor this week, so we're going to be a little bit scrappy around the edges. We also do though have this lovely shiny new logo. Props to Arceus for sourcing this. I don't know who commissioned it. If somebody can pass me on who did it, I'll probably link it up in the description. But yeah, so week 4, we really just decided to throw everything out the window, didn't we? So heading into our power rankings, in 12th, we now have Honor. I mean, you only have a win due to a forfeit, which is a win nonetheless. But just at the moment, the play combined with the team isn't convincing. You got solidly beaten by Bash. You're a little bit unfortunate with Seed Flare misses on Skymin, but I heading into the end game, it already looked sold to me. I wasn't like you got caught out by Specs, Thundy T. Just there's something needs to happen for you before you can be pulled off the bottom. I'm sorry that you're there, but somebody has to be 12th. Coming in at number 11, we have Arceus with the Los Angeles Lycanrocs, and the Lycanrocs get their first win, and against some Mami as well. This was a solid victory. You should probably be higher on the list for this. However, you're being kept only at 11th due to the fact that we're still only 4 weeks in, and generally your draft and your playstyle hasn't changed, and I'm slightly worried that the draft is heading into a very copy-paste, rinse and repeat kind of attitude. I mean, it was a solid win nonetheless. I enjoyed watching it. The Shuckle set was particularly nice. I enjoyed that. Being able to safely really do some damage to Yveltal. But yeah, so keep up the good work, and you're going to be making improvements going up the list progressively. Coming in at number 10, we have KHD with the Jersey Pursuits. Another loss this week. After winning the first week, this is another loss, and we're really starting to see some of the issues with your draft, and it's been highlighted previously, and you have been able to play around it to some extent, but we need even if you can't properly fix the draft, something needs to happen. Your switch with Persian from the Deoxys attack on Marshadow, I wouldn't say it was predictable. That's the interesting thing. I wouldn't say it was predictable, but it was just the nature with which it's not necessarily your play style that is predictable. The issue is what the draft forces you to play is what's predictable. And I think that is one of the key issues for your draft, is that you're having to make aggressive switches to try and maintain momentum. And when you don't have momentum, you're taking chip on a team which doesn't have recovery. I mean, you've stuck with it and you've made the most of it, which I respect, but to win games, there's going to need to be something that happens. Yeah, I'm sorry, but 10th is where you are, and if Arceus manages to start winning, you're going to wind up in the bottom 2, I'm afraid. Coming in at number 9, we have Coach Oak with the Ikitown Incineroars. Also getting their first win, in fact their second win, I believe. You're slowly starting to move up the list. This is what we like to see, Oak. And so effectively 7th, 8th and 9th to me are freely interchangeable. I purely chose it to be forgiving to AZ, and then probably the way in which you won was slightly more improbable than how Hashok won. Oh man, I got this brilliant voice today. But yeah, I mean, it was solid play nonetheless. You managed to hang on to your win cons. I can understand why you went for the sword stance in the final two moves, which is partly why you're down here, because theoretically that both was and wasn't a choke on your part. Either way, you beat what was the league leader at that point, and props to you for that. Coming in at number 8, we have the Mississaugas with Hashok, and yeah, Hashok, you're starting to pull in the wins. You're doing well. You beat AZ, who isn't a slouch. Admittedly, is still within the second half of the general rankings, but still, nonetheless, a win is a win. You were a little bit fortunate with the first turn crit with the Leaf Blade on Heliolisk, and then we get into the Stone Edge miss, which, no, it doesn't matter, but it does account for something. Either way, it was a solid win, and you won convincingly. That's the thing for me, is that so the crit helps you with that, but you won convincingly. And the mark of a good team for me is or a good coach with a good draft, is where halfway through the match I know who's going to win. And admittedly, it wasn't halfway, but heading into the end game, I was confident that you had it in the bag, and for that reason, you're 8th. Keep winning, you'll keep on moving up. So then we get into 7th with AZ and the Houston Hoopers. You lost to Hashok, yes. I've left you here because actually the crit with the Heliolisk was unfortunate. I haven't counted it, whether or not it really mattered. Either way, seeing a crit tilts somebody, and that's not fun. You've had it a bit rough with kind of your scheduling and kind of the general team makeup as well. But okay, I'm gonna say it now. This is probably going to be the last week where I give any sort of kind of forgiving nature in this way. I believe that at the moment, 7th on this list, you're outplaying where the draft is supposed to be. And whether that is through my choosing of putting you 7th or how you're playing, I don't know at the moment. So it's not so much a warning, it's just that's how I feel about your team at the moment. Admittedly, kind of 1 and 3 is less than ideal, or 2 and 2. I can't remember what's your record at the moment. But show me some wins, show me some convincing play, and you will more than earn your place to stay in 7th. Coming in at number 6, we have the New York Muse with Bash. Another week, another win for Bash. After kind of a bit of an interesting start to the season. A win against Honor, which is looking like a bit of a lost team at the moment. You brought some nice sets, which rounded out the game quite well. Greninja didn't really need to hit the field, which is always a mark for kind of like a solid prep, is that you don't actually need to use all of your mons, whether they're able to take care of themselves with only 5. Good win, you're 2 and 2. Let's start seeing that record go positive, and we might break the top 5, which I've kept within the same list. Coming in at number 5, we have the Amityville Ampharos with Crypto. You had 2 shaky weeks, didn't you? I didn't really pick up on that you're actually on a negative record after week 3. But you picked up a win this week against KHD, and it was a solid win. You played with the correct amount of aggression against a draft like that. Scarf Hydreigon was a good bring. And yeah, just generally a solid week. For me, if you're going to break the top 4, you're going to need to beat somebody it's one of the top 4. And so I can't remember the schedule, so I don't know when that might change or if one of them lose. But so yeah, you've got Fist locked down for me, in my opinion, at the moment. Keep up the good work. Show me what you can do. Coming in at number 4, we have the Winston Weavars and Sketch. I always end up talking the most, or like raving the most about Sketch's games. And this week is no different. So, for those of you who don't know, we're now actually in week 6 currently. It's Monday, and we're on to week 6. Sketch was playing Taco. You'll see where he's landed in the rankings later. But so they didn't play until Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday, one of the two. And so I live in hope for a day when a late game is actually a quick and interesting and decisive game. I did not want to have to wait for an 120 move game, which was PP stall as well. It wasn't even kind of nitpicky stall versus stalling. It was just PP stall. The dual setup Lugia was inspired, I will give you that. You needed something better than Psy Shock though for it. And that's what caused so much of an issue. Apart from that, you played the opening up until Lugia and Jirachi hitting the field quite well, and then everything fell to pieces in the end game. I slightly question why you clicked Rock Polish. I can understand with who was on? There was something faster, and I can't remember exactly what it is. There was something faster on Taco's side, and I can understand why he clicked Rock Polish, but I don't believe that with the amount of PP stall that had been going on, that there would have been another switch at that point. I felt like that Taco would have felt that there was an opening, and so you just click buttons. Of course, the question is whether or not close combat killed, or whether you have Earthquake for coverage or anything like that. That always hangs in the balance. I don't know, and I can only make judgments from what I've seen. But it was a slightly nitpicky game, and you've now found yourself on a record of 2-2. And for, I think it's like 8 out of the 12 teams that are on 2-2, it is not a comfortable position for you to find yourself in. So all it takes is a couple of bad weeks and you're mid-table. And at that point, PR starts to fall, and that's not deserving of the draft that you have. So come out next week, do better, show me why you should be a top 3 team. Coming in third, we have Tsunami and the Seattle Salandits. You lost to Arceus. It was less than ideal, but honestly, the reason why you're third is because I was annoyed at Sketch. But I mean, everybody takes the occasional loss. You're still on 3-1. Oh yeah, no, that's why you're third, is because you still have a better record. Just everybody has that bogey team. Come out this week, beat somebody else. Show me why you should be in the top 3. Apart from that, that's all I can ask of you. I mean, you got caught out by Shuckle to some extent, and then I don't know whether it was a high or low roll with the Galvantula on Lele, but these things happen. And yeah, that was just the game we played for this week. Coming in at number 2, we have the Pittsburgh Ridge Steelers with Jimmy. You also lost to Coach Oak. Both of you lost to kind of like, I would currently put that there's a split within the league for quality of playing at the moment, and so it's for the top 5 and then everybody else. That's why I just say that it's like 2 people from the lower cut almost, of people who I'm less convinced by at the moment. But so both of you took a loss. Jimmy, you were unfortunate. You were very unfortunate with the roll. You played the game well, which is why you're still only second. But yeah, a couple things just to take note of really from the game. Nothing too bad. Win the games, beat Taco, do all of that fun thing, and we'll see you back on top again. And then so for number 1, we now have our 3rd power ranking leader, and that is Taco of the Twin City Tacos. You did everything that you had to beat Sketch. That is all I can say, is that so you played the Peepoo stall well, you realised what was going to happen and started switching around at the point when Lugia had to start just clicking support moves. I mean, the end game was a little bit interesting, but you made the correct plays, and you got the win out of it. The opening bit pre-Lugia hitting the field was a little bit interesting, but certainly food for thought for almost inevitably a playoff game, considering how the 2 of you are playing. But yeah, so that what's the word? Wraps up the power rankings for week 4. I've been Splurge. We have our 3rd power ranking leader with Taco, and I hope everybody has a good week for week 6. We've only had 2 games played for week 5 at the moment, I believe, guys, so come on, we need to get those games down and done. If you're waiting on me, just go and play week 5 already, and then I'll be able to do week 5 soon. But yeah, have a good week, stay safe, all of that stuff. And you're now going to see the slow stop because I'm only on one screen.